We welcome you back to Moody Park here in Ewing Township, New Jersey for Game 2 of the doubleheader between the Trenton Generals and the New Brunswick Matrix. The Matrix taking Game 1 in dominant fashion 4-0. Generals could really never get the bats going. They're back in action for Game 2. We'll take a look at the Generals lineup. Nick Tomasetto leads things off, the shortstop. The catcher, Brandon Bucher, follows him at second. Chris Reeder, the DH, hits third. Behind him, Danny Cyprian, the third baseman, batting fifth. The first baseman, Greg Cristino, batting sixth. And playing right field, Robbie Carvelli. Jake DeClerico, the center fielder, remains in center. Bats seventh. Logan Moat now at second base. He hits eighth. And Nick Ferry rounds things out, the left fielder. That lineup will face Andrew Brown, the 6'4", 215-pound right-hander from Manhattan College, making his third appearance of the summer. In two previous games, both out of the bullpen, both one inning of work. Brown's allowed one hit, one run, two walks, struck out three. Tomasetto digs in. Brown is ready. Takes a deep breath on the mound, fires home, and we are officially underway in game number 2 with Tomasetto checking the swing and fouling it away. A lot of changes for the Generals in game 2. A welcome sight as they look to shake things up, especially offensively. Same thing can't be said for the Matrix. Hardly any changes at all. 0-1 to Tomasetto. The only returner from the Generals from game 1 is Jake DeClerico, the center fielder. Everywhere else, a new face, new position for the Generals as it's 1-1 to Tomasetto. He pops it foul out of play. Tomasetto at 444. Make that 410 actually. 16 hits in 39 at-bats for the incoming freshman at Rutgers. Now 2-2. Facing Andrew St. Brown, incoming freshman at Manhattan College. That pitch is chopped too short. Zampella waits on it, fires across in time to retire Tomasetto. The rest of the defense for the Matrix, Edwards, Petrillo, Piotrowski left to right in the outfield. Nitty, Zampella, Lagravinis, and Morano third to first along the infield. And Bakunis does the catching for Anthony Brown. The same 9 players in the lineup for the Matrix. Again, we told you in game 1 that they do not have as many position players as most teams in the league. As now it's Brandon Bucher going after the first pitch and flying it into center field. Petrillo hustling back and will make a nice running catch over the shoulder to retire Brandon Bucher in his first at-bat of the doubleheader. 2 are retired in the top of the first. These two teams switching positions. The Generals are the away team in game 2. Matrix are home. Again, these two teams will play a 9-inning game here tomorrow, in which the Generals will be home. As it's Chris Reeder, the DH. Murphy got the start behind the plate in game 1 of the doubleheader, and both catchers in the lineup in game 2 for the Generals. Reeder getting the start at DH. Comes in hitting at .364, 16 hits and 44 at-bats, 2 homers, 7 RBI. Check, swing, and a roller to first. Reeder barely exits the batter's box as the third out is retired. That was only 3 hitters, but the Generals offense continues to struggle. 3 up and 3 down against Brown to begin the top of the first in game 2 of the doubleheader. We'll be back as the Matrix come to bat after a scoreless top half of the first inning from Moody Park. Christian Petrillo leads off the home half of the first inning for the Matrix. Facing Anthony St. John, the right-hander on the mound. Rising senior at Babson College. On the mound in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Backs Petrillo up, and it's 1-1. St. John, 4 games, 4 starts for him. Leads the Generals in innings pitched with 20 coming into tonight's game. That pitch is lined foul down the third baseline. He's allowed 27 hits, 2 walks. He struck out 21, which is second on the team, and allowed 6 earned runs, a 3-1 record, and a 2.70 ERA. Him and Limo Heron have been really 2 terrific starters. Petrillo flies that one to left, where Ferry hasn't played perfectly, and makes the catch for out number 1 in the bottom of the first. The rest of the Generals defense, again, a lot of changes from Game 1. Ferry, DeClerico, and Carvelli. That's left to right. Cyprian, Tomasetto, Moat, and Cristino third to first. And Bucher is behind the plate for St. John on the mound. St. John's worst performance of the season was actually in his last start against the Phenoms on the 25th, as that pitch is hit softly down the third baseline foul. He went 5 innings, picked up his first loss of the year, and in a 9-1 loss. Allowed 11 hits, and that was a big problem. Didn't walk anyone, struck out 6. Allowed 7 runs, just 4 earned runs. But in his first 3 starts had only allowed 2 runs, allowed 4 earned runs in his last start on the 25th against the Phenoms. And him and Tristan Spalter typically have been pitching back-to-back on the weekend doubleheaders for the Generals, the Saturday doubleheaders. Typically, Spalter has followed St. John here, though it's the opposite. St. John getting the start in game number 2. But someone the Generals are glad is on the mound. A grounder to short. Tomasetto, the nice play to range up the middle, but the throw to first is wide of the bag. We'll see how they score it, as reaching is Morano. An air charge to Tomasetto made a nice play to range up the middle, but then the throw to first pulled Cristino off of the bag. Only have to wait 2 hitters for the Generals to make an error here in Game 2. Again, the defense has continued to struggle. That pitch is lined down the third baseline for a base hit. Morano pulls up at second. A base hit for Zampella. First hit of the night in Game 2, and now there's 2 on with 1 away.
Number 6, third baseman.
It's Jordan Nitti, the cleanup hitter. Lagravenis, Brad Edwards, Sean Piotrowski, Nick Solari, and Bakunis round out the starting 9. Again, similar look in the lineup for the Matrix. No changes in terms of who's penciled in, but the order's a little different. Nitti elevated from 5th to 4th in the order after a 1-for-4 showing in the first game. Behind in the count, 0-2 against St. John, who again the Generals are glad they have a reliable, experienced pitcher on the mound after dropping their 2nd straight game to the Matrix and trying to salvage the 2nd game of the doubleheader and avoid possibly falling out of first place in the Wolf division with a Kings win over the Stallions. St. John fires on 0-2. And just getting a piece of that was Jordan Nitti. But the big problem for the Generals has been the offense as of late. No runs in game 1. 4 runs last night as St. John looks Morano back to second base. But with a new look lineup with 8 new names, hopefully fortunes will change for the Generals. A weak comebacker right back to St. John. He's going to go for second to 1. Back to first. The throw is high and over the first base bag. That will allow Morano to score from third. And just like that, the Matrix grab a 1-0 lead on what will be the second error of the inning on Nick Tomasetto.
Number 1,
Would have been a really tough turn either way. That ball not hit particularly hard back to St. John. Good awareness and nice throw to make the play at second, but an error on the throw by Tomasetto gets another chance here. Double clutches, throws low to first, but a nice play by Cristino to dig it out and save Tomasetto from what could have been his third error of the inning. Both of those errors helped the Matrix get on the board after run. They played a run on a hit and 2 errors from Tomasetto, and they lead after 1-0. After the Matrix grabbed a 1-0 lead in the first, thanks to 2 Generals errors, they find themselves in a 1-0 hole. Similar story after falling behind 1-0 after the first inning in Game 1. It's Danny Cyprian, the cleanup man for the Generals, leading things off against Anthony Brown back on the mound after a 3-up and 3-down first inning. And once again, we're seeing the defense come back to bite the Generals, and they got away with some defensive mistakes earlier on in the season. Cyprian, at this point in the season, as he takes ball 1, it's 1-1. Cyprian is at .306, 14 games, 49 at-bats. He's tallied 15 hits, 2 homers, 10 RBIs, 13 strikeouts. But early in the season for the Generals, even when they committed errors which allowed runs to score for the opposing team, the offense would score so many runs that it was able to cancel out the amount of runs the opposition scored thanks to the defensive miscues. But as the offense has not produced as much, those defensive mistakes have hurt even more. Cyprian, a hard grounder to second, where the high hop finds its way into the glove of Lagravenis, who throws across to Morano in time for out number 1 in the top of the second.
Number 35, first baseman, Greg Cristino.
Here's Greg Cristino making his first appearance of the doubleheader at first base. Big first baseman's at .238. No homers, 2 RBIs. And a bit of a cold slump himself after a fast start to the season through the first few games, as it's 0-1 on him. Corey Miller here with you at Moody Park. Second game of the doubleheader between the Matrix and the Generals. Half-hearted swing from Cristino. He was able to hold up. It's 1-1. Cristino made that nice play to end the first inning on a low throw from Tomasetto. Was able to dig it out and bring an end to the inning. He rolls this one softly too short. We're making the play as Zampella and making a nice throw to first. 2 ground outs start the second inning. And a good start for Andrew Brown continues.
Number 16, right fielder, Robbie Carvelli.
It's now Robbie Carvelli making his first appearance here this evening. in right field here in Game 2 of the doubleheader, with DeClerico staying in center. Carvelli's hitting .219. Been waiting for his bat to really get going. He's got 3 RBIs. Surprising thing is that he only has 1 stolen base. A guy with his speed, the Generals would love to see swiping more bags, but he also needs to get on base more before that can start to happen. He's only drawn 1 walk, so between the 7 hits and 1 walk, he's been on base 8 times. Plus 2 hit by pitches for a total of 10. A ground ball that sneaks its way through into right field, and Carvelli's on base for the 11th time this season, a 2-out base hit. And he keeps the inning alive for Jake DeClerico.
Number 2, center fielder.
Good piece of hitting with 2 outs, 2 strikes. Carvelli shoots it the other way. And now here's DeClerico. DeClerico hit at the top of the order, leadoff in Game 1. Grounded out twice and walked. In on the hands, loops a shallow fly into center field, and a nice play by Zampella to track it down on the outfield grass to bring an end to the top of the second. The Generals get their first hit of the night, but he's stranded at first. And another solid inning for Andrew Brown. Still 1-0. Matrix after 1.5.
1, the Generals, nothing.
One count to Brad Edwards to begin the last of the second inning. Edwards, Piotrowski, Solari, 6, 7, 8 for the Matrix, who lead 1-0, thanks to a pair of errors by the Generals in the first. St. John back to work on the mound. That pitch is lined foul down the right field line. Edwards grounds that one to second, where Moat stays down on it and makes the throw to first for out number 1 here in the bottom of the second.
Number 26, right fielder Sean Piotrowski.
And here's Piotrowski playing right field in Game 2. 0 for 3 in Game 1. Interesting thing is that a guy who is a catcher for this Matrix squad moved from the catching position to right field in Game 2. Again, carrying a very finite amount of position players. All 9 guys who played Game 1 started or playing Game 2. In on the hands, grounded to Cyprian at third. Few steps in and chucks it across on a line to Cristino for out number 2.
Nick Solari.
So 2 away after 2 ground ball outs, and here's Solari. The right fielder in game 1, now DHing in game 2. Swinging away and hitting it hard to Moat, knocks him down, gets up, fires to first in time. A nice play to bring an end to the second inning. 3 up, 3 down for St. John, all 3 on ground outs. It's still 1-0 Matrix as the Generals come back to bat in the top of the third. New inning to play, top of the third begins with Logan Moat, Nick Ferry, Nick Tomasetto, 8-9-1 in the Generals order, facing Andrew Brown. Through 2 shutout innings, allowed just 1 hit. Moat goes after the first pitch and grounds it to Zampella, who throws across for out number 1 to begin the third. 1 pitch, 1 out. This Matrix defense behind their pitching staff here through 9 innings. Now 9 of the third has been terrific. No errors given up. The Matrix made 2 errors in the win last night. None so far tonight as Nick Ferry gets his first at-bat of the doubleheader and takes a called strike 1. Ferry appeared in the game last night but did not register an at-bat, so his first at-bat of the series. Hitting just 125 on the summer. We've seen him consistently when he does hit out of the 9th spot in the order. The rising sophomore at Seton Hall has struggled this summer, as it's been an efficient start for Brown on the mound, and that will continue as he makes a nice play on his 23rd pitch of the night. 18 of them have been strikes, and now there are 2 quickly retired in the top of the third.
Number 23, shortstop Nick Tomasetto.
So now it's back to the top of the order, Nick Tomasetto, who grounded to short to lead off the game. This Generals offense looking for a breakthrough. Have been held scoreless in their last 13 innings. That includes the last 4 last night, all 7 innings in game 1, and the first 2 innings here tonight. And you wonder what point are they putting too much pressure on themselves to start breaking through offensively. A team that is more than capable of doing so and has done so at least through the early portion of their schedule. High chopper to third. Could be a tough play. Nitti makes the throw to first in time, and a nice stretch by Morano to nab the speedy Tomasetto. Some good Matrix defense behind Brown on the mound, who's through 3 shutout innings. The Matrix still lead the Generals 1-0.
Getting off for the Matrix, catcher number 34, Luke Bakunis.
Luke Bakunis, 9-1-2 for the Matrix in the bottom half of the third. Up 1-0 as Bakunis hitting ninth for the second straight game. Cuts and misses at that one, and it's 0-1. Both of these pitchers doing well. Through the first 2 innings for St. John, through 3 now for Brown. The difference in this game has been the defense. 2 errors by Tomasetto in the first, which allowed a Matrix run to score. As it's 1-1 to Bakunis. 1-2. Not only has the Matrix defense been good, not allowing any errors, but they made some really nice plays. Nothing that flashy, but some slow rollers, high choppers, making nice plays to nab the runners at first. Most recently on those 3 ground balls by the Generals in the top half of the inning. As we said, no errors in game 1 after 2 last night. Between the 3 games in this series, at least to this point, again, we've only played 2.5 innings here in game 2. The Generals now sit at 8 errors. 4 last night, 2 in game 1, 2 so far in game 2. As St. John just hit his 29th pitch, has fired in 22 strikes, so he's been efficient on the mound as well. 1-2 pitch to Bakunis inside, and it's 2-2. On a 2-2, that one is lined into right field. Carvelli is right there to put a glove on it and retire Bakunis for out number 1. Back to the top of the order in Petrillo, who flied out to left back in the first inning. As we mentioned, terrific speed for the Matrix leadoff hitter. Extended the inning on an infield single, which then led to a Morano home run in game 1, which really felt like the key blow to the Generals as it put the game out of the reach. It was 1-0 at the time. That pitch is lined into the left center field gap. DeClerico sprinting back, and he'll get there to make a nice run and catch. Beautiful jump and route taken by DeClerico. That would have been extra bases and trouble with Petrillo on the base pass had it gotten down. Instead, it's out number 2. No one on for Morano, who reached on an error in the first inning. Terrific game 1. He was 3 for 4. Reached base all 4 times in game 1. An error, a single, a home run, and a single. So he's reached base safely in all 5 at-bats here across the 2 games thus far. It's 2-0 on him. He's only hitting .229 coming into the game. Rising senior at Keene University, where he started 44 games this past spring. and hit .321. Popped 6 homers, 36 RBI, returner from last summer on this Matrix squad, where he hit 5 homers, drove in 21, and hit .280. Matrix have a good amount of returners to their squad from last season. Looking to improve to 11-5 after the Game 1 win. Goes the other way and punches it into right field for a 2-out base hit. Big turnaround first, but Marana will head back. Moat was shaded really far up the middle, a few steps to the left of the second base bag, as opposed to playing the typical position. He was shaded more up the middle, kind of shifting against Marano. Typically that ball would have been hit right to him, but since he was shaded more up the middle, it was a much tougher play. And now it's Zampala, who singled in the first inning. One of 2 hits now for the Matrix. Gets under this one, lifts it into center field. DeClerico started out, now comes in and makes the catch to bring an end to the 3rd inning. A hit for the Matrix, but no runs. Another good inning for St. John, who keeps the deficit at 1-3 here at Moody Park in Game 2 of the doubleheader between the Matrix and the Generals.
And we welcome you back here to Moody Park. And if you're thinking that Corey Miller might sound a little bit different, you would be correct. This is Ben Chadwick joining you for the 4th and 5th innings here for the Generals and the Matrix. And getting things started off here, Brennan Bucher with a shot out to left field. That's going to hit the fence. And Bucher rounding first. He's going to head over to second and be safe for a double on the first pitch of the 4th inning. So a very nice start for Bucher as the Generals get their 2nd hit of the game and hope to put an end to this Brown masterclass that they've been accustomed to in the first 3 innings. So now a Bucher on second. Reeder up at the plate. Takes the first one high for a 1-0 count. Chris Reeder, the rising senior at TCNJ, is 0 for 1 on the day. And he starts off with a 2-0 count here. Another pitch high you wonder if Brown gave it all he had in those first 3 innings, and maybe this is where it could start to fall apart and where the Generals could take advantage and get on the board for the first time here today. That pitch once again going to be inside. So Reeder gets the free pass over to first.
Number 6, third baseman Danny Cyprian.
And that's going to bring on Danny Cyprian for the Generals here, with Bucher still a runner in scoring position on second. And now Reeder on first. Cyprian, like Reeder, also 0 for 1 on the day, looking for his first time on first base. Cyprian, the soon-to-be freshman at St. John's University, takes that one inside. That's the 4th straight inside ball thrown by Brown here in this one.
See you guys tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Maybe. No, I'll be here.
Here is the 1-0. That's going to be fouled back by Cyprian. And Cyprian with a solid .333 average on the year. In the 13 games he's played in for the Generals, he's got 15 hits on 45 at-bats. As well as a couple homers. Starts off with a 1-1, make that a 1-2 here for Cyprian. So Brown looking to finally get back into the groove that he found himself so comfortable in. Once again going to be fouled back by Cyprian. And Brown at one point had over 90% of his pitches in the 3rd inning be all strikes, and now here in this one, it's just a little over 60%. One-two here for Cyprian. No outs on the board. That one's going to be skied out to left field. Edwards in pursuit, not able to make the catch. Bit of an awkward dive for him out there. It was out of play either way. Was still hoping for the first out of the inning there for the Matrix. Unable to get it, so the 1-2 count will remain here for Danny Cyprian. Andrew Brown, soon to be freshman at Manhattan College, the Manhattan Project they like to call it up there. Another pitch, this one swung on, going to be another fly ball, sky high. That'll be caught by Zampella for the first out of the top of the 4th here for the Generals.
Number 35.
So Generals looking to drive in their first run of the day, and Brown looking to keep this scoreless game going. Now up at the plate, Greg Cristino. That pitch getting away from Bakunis. And Bucher will be safe on 3rd. Reeder will advance to 2nd. So now 2 runners in scores position here for the Generals. And Cristino with this 1-0 count. Only 18 at-bats on the year, a .278 average. As well as 2 RBIs, which he has a chance to double that with an at-bat here. Takes that one, giving him a 1-1 count. Another pitch outside, getting away from Brown. So 2-1 here for Cristino. Brown now eclipsing 40 pitches on the day. Swung on by Cristino, gets ahead of it. Headed straight for Robbie Carvelli, currently on deck. So an even 2-2 count here for Cristino. Man on second, man on third, with only one out. And that one is going to be in there. Cristino caught looking. The strikeout from Brown is the second out of the inning. And now Robbie Carvelli has a chance to tie or take the lead with his at-bat here. Or can Andrew Brown escape a near nightmare situation here? This one swung on by Carvelli. It's going to be got by Brown right on the mound for the third out of the inning. The Generals not able to take advantage of 2 runners in scorer's position with only 1 out. So just like that, after 3.5 innings, the Matrix still hold their 1-0 lead over the Generals. And we'll be right back for St. John. Back on the mound for the Generals in the bottom. And we're welcome you back here to the bottom of the 4th. Matrix still holding their 1-0 lead over the Generals. But it is not because of a lack of performance from Anthony St. John, but a nice swing there. Going out to left field. It's going to be a line drive out to left for a double. And a nice quick start for the Matrix here in the bottom of the 4th.
Number 1, second baseman, Michael LaGravenis.
Jordan Nitty on the double on the first pitch of the bottom of the 4th. His 4th double on the year. And that'll bring on LaGravenis, who swings at his first pitch as well. This one going right over to the shortstop, who was able to make the play at first. So a quick grounder over to Tomasetto. Tomasetto makes the play over to Cristino. Or doesn't make the play over to Cristino. My apologies. Throw was not able to get there in time. So 2 pitches, 2 hits here for the Matrix. Now Edwards takes the plate with 2 men on base. St. John just 3 pitches into this inning. Edwards swinging at that one, going to be a foul ball unless Cristino can get under it, and it will go out of the field of play. So Lagravenis at first, Nitti at second. Edwards up at the plate, 0 for 1 on the day, swinging at that one. And that'll be a swing strikeout for St. John.
Number 26, right fielder.
A quick 0-3 for St. John. It's exactly what he needed with how those first 2 at-bats went for him. Now Piotrowski, also 0 for 1 on the day in his only 1 at-bat. His count starts off with a nice 1-0. Piotrowski, the rising junior at Ramapo College, entered the day with just 18 at-bats. 4 hits, 7 RBIs, however, along with 2 homers, giving him a .222 average on the season. He's got a 2-1 count. This one is going to be skied over to left field. Ferry makes the catch for the second out of the bottom of the 4th here for the Generals.
Number 9.
So similar to the Generals, the Matrix with 2 men on base, both early in the inning as well. And we'll see if St. John can do exactly what Brown did in the top and not let them take advantage of a situation where they could be extending their lead. Now Solari up at the plate starting off. Nice fastball on the outside by St. John. This one swung on right over to Moat, and Moat makes the play over to Cristino for the 3rd out of the bottom of the 4th. So for the 3rd straight inning in a row, the score remains the same. Matrix 1, General 0. We'll be back for the top of the 5th. And with that, we are back here at Moody Park for the top of the 5th. Ben Chowdhuck joining you here. A pitching change in for the Matrix, Josh Keene, a soon-to-be senior at USC in Sumter. And so far this season for the Matrix, appeared in 2 games. One of them he got the start in. 4 innings pitched with 9 hits and 10 earned runs. as well as 7 walks for a 22.50 ERA. And DeClerico is going to lead us off here, and he'll start off with an 0-1 count. Make that 0-2. So a nice first couple of pitches here from Keene. DeClerico a 265 average coming into the day. Seeing his fair share of at-bats. This one skied out to right field. Going to be out of the field to play. And it will be a foul ball, keeping this 0-2 count going. And DeClerico in his second year of the ACBL, soon to be junior at Rutgers University. Like I said, a 265 average. In his 34 at-bats, he has 6 RBIs and 9 hits. That pitch gets away from Bakunas, so now a 1-2 count for DeClerico. And that one gets away from Keene. Looks like it just barely grazed DeClerico across the back. But the ump saw it well enough and thought it was good enough to send DeClerico over to first on a hit by pitch. So the Generals, with only 2 hits on the day, still looking for their first run of the game. And we'll see if they could do that here. Logan Moat takes the plate. Looking for his first appearance on first. Starts off with a 1-0. DeClerico on first for him here. And Keene still looking to settle in. Starts mowed off with a 2-0 count. And a quick 3-0 here for Logan Moat, who has struggled hitting-wise. In his 28 at-bats, just 5 hits, giving him a 179 average. 16 strikeouts as well. And finally on the 3-0, getting his first strike called. So 3-1 here for Logan Moat, the rising sophomore at Iona College. Swing and a miss there from Moat. Now a full count. Nice way to battle back for Keene here. DeClerico, 2 stolen bases on the year. Won't try for it here. And that called strike gives Keene his first strikeout of the day and the first out of the top of the 5th.
Left fielder Nick Ferry.
And now Nick Ferry takes the plate here for the Generals. Team has struggled hitting-wise here today. That pitch is low, and off goes DeClerico over to second, and DeClerico is caught out. What a throw from Bakunas. And just like that, the Generals, now with a quick 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, with Ferry up at the plate, facing down a 1-0 count. A 2-0 now here for Ferry. Bucher and Carvelli, the only 2 players to get a hit here in this game. As Ferry grounds that one foul off the right line. as he's now got a 2-1 count. So like I said before, Keene, you could say, has struggled in the 2 games he's played in, but a very nice inning here so far for him, and a swing and a miss there from Freddie makes it even nicer. So 2s across the board, 2-2 count with a couple of outs. The pitch is swung on by Ferry, and it will be a blooper that'll go straight up and be caught by LaGravis for the 3rd out here in the 5th inning.
No runs, no hits. There were no errors and none left.
So a very uneventful inning offensively. And that's the story we've seen from both of these pitchers as they continue to shine here at Moody Park. Once again, the Matrix lead 1-0. And welcome you back here in the bottom of the 5th. Luke Bakunis leading things off here for the Matrix. St. John still on the mound for the Generals. Allowed 4 hits in the 4 innings he's pitched so far. There's a run on the board, but it is not earned for him, as well as only 1 strikeout so far here in this one. And he'll start Bakunis off with a 1-1. Bakunis having an excellent throw to get out to Clerico as he caught him stealing for the 2nd out of the top of the 5th. And that one's going to be too far inside, hitting Bakunis in the ribs, and he'll take first base.
Number 3, center fielder Christian Petrillo.
St. John just now eclipsing 50 pitches on the day. And with how quick this game is going, you have to think there's a solid chance that he finishes this entire game for the Generals. So he now faces Petrillo, who is 0 for 2 on the day. A solid batter so far this season for the Matrix with a .250 average. As he swings this one on, going out to right field. That's just going to barely get past Cristino. And a very soft fly ball over there for the single. And now it's 2 runners on in the first 2 batters here for the Matrix. And we saw this in the 4th, and St. John was able to come back and get a quick 3 outs right after being put in this situation. And, of course, he'll be trying to do the same here. Now facing Morano. Who has scored the only run of the day, or of the game rather, I should say, here for the Matrix. Got on base via a single. And he starts things off for himself with a 1-1 count. Another pitch going inside for St. John. You have to wonder if that arm of his is starting to get tired. At 57 pitches currently. This one swung on by Morano. It'll be a 2-2 count. So it swung on by Morano. Going to be out to center field. DeClerico chasing it down. Makes the catch. Runners will not advance. So that'll be the first out here in the bottom of the fifth.
Number 2.
And Shane Sachs,
Zampella.
the rising sophomore at Fairleigh Dickinson University, currently warming up for the Generals. But again, overall, looking at the stat sheet, St. John has played well. Starting to seem like that arm could be getting tired. And we'll see how long it takes Mike Coryell to take him out of the game, if at all. Now Zampella taking the play, starts things off with a 0-1 count. Now make that 0-2. Nice couple of pitches here from St. John to bounce back. So now a 1-2 count for Zampella, sophomore at East Stroudsburg University. Zampella, one of the better batters on this team with a .389 average. And a good amount of at-bats, too. 36 at-bats on the year. This one swung on, going to go right out to Danny Cyprian. Cyprian unable to make the tag or the throw. So Zampella will be safe at first. Cyprian reached to try and get Bakunis out as he was attempting for third. Couldn't get him. Then looked to second to get Petrillo out. Didn't make that throw. Then looked to first. Didn't make that throw for Zampella. So just like that, the bases are loaded with one out here. And now Nitty up at the plate. He'll start off with a 1-1 count as well. Swing and a miss there from Nitty. 1-2. Nitty, another great batter. .303 average in his 33 at-bats. That's 10 hits, as well as 5 RBIs and a homer. This one swung on, going to be right back over to Cyprian, who will make the throw over to second, get him out. The throw will go to first by Moat, and that'll be a nice double play to end off the fifth inning. And somehow St. John escapes a bases loaded one-out situation. And once again, we have had no runs in this one since the first inning. And that story remains the same. Headed into the top of the sixth. Matrix lead, 1-0.
And top of the order here for the Trenton Generals, Jack Kemler here with you at Moody Park in Ewing, New Jersey. Generals down 1-0 here in the top of the 6th. First pitch, swing and a miss there from Tomasetto. Josh Keane, second inning of work here in the top of the 6th. Oh, 1 breaking pitch in there for strike 2. Generals 12 scoreless innings as of right now during this doubleheader. Only 2 hits in this one. That one's fouled off, still an 0-2 count. Tomasetto, the rising freshman at Rutgers University. Trying to get on base. Lead off here. That one's lined. Grounder. Sampella, throw to first in time for the first out of the inning. Quick one down for Keane and the Matrix.
Number 12, catcher Brendan Bucher.
That moves Tomasetto to 0-3 on the day. Now Brendan Bucher is 1 for 2. So we're going to miss there to start off his count. That one's in the dirt. Makes the count even 1-1. Bucher going to Monmouth University for his freshman year next year from Allentown, New Jersey. Takes that one outside. Makes it a 2-1 count. That one is popped up to center field. Petrello under it and makes a catch for the second out here on the top of the 6th with Chris Reeder coming up.
Number 17, the DH, Chris Reeder.
So the rising senior at TCNJ, a mile away. Chris Reeder comes up with 2 outs. 25th pitch for Keane is on the outside corner for strike 1. Reeder batting .333 in ACBL play with 2 homers. Takes that one outside for a ball. One to Reeder. Up and hits him in the helmet. His second hit by pitch this game. Gets a man on for the Generals here on the top of the 6th. Still 2 down.
Number 6, third baseman, Danny Cyprian.
From rising senior to rising freshman, Danny Cyprian in the 4 spot here. St. John's commit. Clean count. Fouls that one off. Out of play. Cyprian in 13 games on ACBL play has batted .333, has 6 stolen bases, 5 doubles, 2 homers, 9 ribbies. Now the 0-1. A little bit outside. Makes the count even. Keane before this appearance only had 2 appearances, 4 innings pitched, and 10 earned runs. This one pitching very well. So we'll get a pinch runner for Chris Reeder at first base.
Pitch running for the Generals, number 1, Dom Patrizzi.
Don Patrizzi will check in for him. Try and get that tying run in for the Generals here in the top of the 6th. One to Cyprian. Bit outside for ball 2. That one was Keene's 30th pitch of the game. Hasn't given up a hit or a walk yet. That one's upstairs. Moves it to a hitter count 3-1. Now the 3-1 is grounded and will be foul. It was a very close call. Could have been either way. Morano on first base thought he hit the bag to make it fair, but umpires think otherwise. Cyprian, the big power hitter on this Generals lineup, needs a power hit here for Trenton to get that tying run in on first base. That one's popped up behind the backstop. Bakunis going to try and make a play and will hit the roof. Cyprian stays in this at bat, full count, 2 outs. Patrizzi on first. Matrix still leading 1-0. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Keene's second strikeout of the game. Keeps the Matrix leading 1-0. Going into the bottom of the 6th.
There are no errors and 1 left after. Michael LaGravinis.
And we welcome you back here for the bottom of the 6th inning. Shane Sachs coming in relief for Tony St. John. St. John, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits given up. No earned runs, only the 1 run coming on error with 1 strikeout. First pitch. Be a called strike, 0-1. LaGravinis, 1 for 2 on the day. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. Sachs, a rising sophomore at FDU. Has 4 games played on the year and gets a swing and a miss there. Throw down the first for the drop will be in time. Quick one down for the Generals off the sack strikeout.
Number 11, left fielder, Brad.
Sacks'
Edwards.
8 innings pitch on the year. Very average year. Has 4 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. Comes out to a 4.50 ERA. Now it's Edwards. Takes that one for a ball. Swing and a miss there. Makes it count even 1-1. Brad Edwards from St. Elizabeth University going into his senior year. That's a 1-1 count. Backs off that one. 2-1. Edwards in his junior year at St. Elizabeth played 39 games, batted .379, and pitched a little bit. Just didn't go the greatest on the mound at a 7.93 ERA. Hitters count 3-1. In the dirt. Gets a man on for the Matrix. On the walk.
Number 26, right fielder, Sean Petrowski.
Now Sean Petrowski up to bat with a man on first, 1 down. First pitch from Sachs is a swing and a miss. Makes it a 0-1 count. Sean going into his junior year at Ramapo College. Swings through that one again. 2 swings and misses. Makes it 0-2 count. Sachs' 12th pitch of this inning. It's popped up. Down the third base line. Bucher under it. And makes a catch in foul territory for the second out of the inning. Still man on first for the Matrix. With Solari coming up.
Number 9, the DH, Nick Solari.
Not a usual hitter for this team, Nick Solari, but playing in DH today as he grounds that one over to Thomas Soto. Throw to first is in time. What a play on the short chopper to get the third out of the inning. Generals' last chance to not get swept in this doubleheader by the Matrix.
There were no errors and
Stand by.
after 6.
We'll be back in a moment for the top of the 7th inning.
Greg Christino.
Gage Bendix, second time today in relief, already had a save in the first doubleheader game. Looking for a second save of the day would be a crazy accomplishment. Have 2 saves in one day. First pitch is it was fouled. Fouled off of Craig Castino's hand. Make it an 0-1 count. It was grounded down the first base line, but first hit Cristino, which made it a foul ball. Jack Hemler here with you at Moody Park. 7th inning in the second doubleheader game. Generals down 1-0, last chance here as the away team. As that one's grounded over to Zampella, fields it cleanly, and gets the first out. Quick one down for Bendix.
Number 16, right fielder Robbie Carvelli.
Bendix earlier today had 17 pitches, 1 inning pitch, no earned runs, 1 strikeout, and that save. Now Robbie Carvelli coming up. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Had that single to right field. Fouls that one off. Hits the backstop. 0-1. Breaking pitch a little outside for ball 1. Carvelli going to Lehigh next year for his first year. Like a lot of these Generals and Kings players. A lot from Lehigh University, at least 4. Bad swing and a miss there from Robbie. It was just a pitch way outside and just not the great mindset from Carvelli there. Now 1-2 count. Breaking pitch a little too low. Moves the count even 2-2. Grounded over to Zampella again. Slow one, throwing the run. Gets past Mirano. Carvelli jotting to second, will get there as the ball is out of play. So a man in scoring position for the Generals. That one scored a hit, but then an error on Zampella on the move up.
Number 2, center fielder Jake DeClerico.
Generals looking for their first run all day. Their 14th inning. Hitting today. Jake DeClerico up to bat, 0 for 1 of the day. Swings and misses that one. Makes it count 0-1. Clerico like Tomasetto from Rutgers University, except he's a rising junior. That one's grounded. Over to Nitti. Throws it over to first. Gets it in time. Carvelli stays at second. So a quick 2 down for Bendix. Still a man in scoring position for the Generals. As they are down to their last out. And it looks like they'll have a pinch hitter for Logan Moat. Timmy Wright pinch hitting for Logan Moat.
Number 19, Timmy Wright.
Logan Moat 0 for 2 on the day, so good decision by Coach Coryell to get a pinch hitter in for General's last chance to get a run in all day. First pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. That was Bendix's 10th pitch of the game. That one outside for ball 1. Tim Wright did play last game, but this will be his first at-bat of this one. Here in the top of the 7th. Carvelli with a big lead on second. That one's in the dirt. Good stop, though, by Bakunis to make it a 2-1 count. Carvelli, one of the fastest players on this Generals team, could be a threat to steal. Couldn't see him doing it with 2 outs. And a good hitter on right, up to bat. That one on the outside corner for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Man on second. Generals down to their last strike. Looking to avoid that sweep of a doubleheader. Here right now, 2-2 from Gage. It's fouled off by right. Generals currently first in the Wolf division. A loss potentially would put them behind the Kings at first place if the Kings sweep today in their doubleheader. And the slider is in there for strike 3. What a pitching performance by the Matrix all day. Give up no runs in 14 innings. And Generals drop 2 in a row. Puts them down to 12-6-1. Matrix move up to 11-5. As they win this one 1-0, win the past one 4-0. So 14 scoreless innings of hitting by the Generals. After starting off their season 11-0, has not been the same team since. And that'll do it for us here at Moody Park. So for me, Jack Kemmler, Ben Chadwick, Corey Miller, thank you so much for watching.